The Incredibles. A film came out in 2004, directed by Brad Bird. It's an animated film, Pixar film. The voices of Craig T. Nelson, Holly Hunter, Samuel L. Jackson, and Jason Lee, among others. The IMDb plot summary: a family of undercover superheroes, while trying to live the quiet suburban life, are forced into action to save the world. So this movie is the mom in this movie, who is voiced by Holly Hunter, is a literal superhero. And I think what this movie does so well with a lot of the family dynamics, but especially at least the mom, and like that was the part that really spoke to me, is it's show that moms can be superheroes in terms of being able to do it all for the family, but at the same time, be a working woman, but also that having superpowers, which the character does in this film, isn't like that makes things easy for her either. Like she still struggles as a mom, even though she has these powers. I think, and that is, again, something for me that growing up, I always viewed my mom like that too. And when I saw this movie, I remember thinking, wow, this is really a great encapsulation of what that type of mom, who again is doing all these different things, trying to take care of all these different kids, and really captures that. And I mentioned again these superheroes, right? And in this film, every superhero has like a different power set. And what I think Brad Bird did so well in this movie is he gave each of the family members a superpower that kind of matched their, like, where they were in their life or their role within the family. So the young boy who's like early preteen, he is super fast because, like, young boys have all this energy and it's crazy. And the dad has all this strength because, like, typically the father is supposed to carry the weight of the family and like fight for the family. The teenage daughter, goes invisible, as teenage girls tend to want to do, probably, because that's an awkward phase for them. But the mom has elastic powers, so she was known as Elastigirl, so she can stretch in many directions. And I think that, to me, is what reminded me the most of my mom, who again is put in these situations where, especially when she started working again, having to be the mom and take care of all these kids who are still growing up, but then also, again, go to work, take care of the house, all these things, kind of stretching herself in all these different ways. And it's not easy either, even though I would view as a kid, like, oh, this is easy, like you're doing all this, but really it's not. And I think this movie does a really good job with that. There's, a scene where she's trying to keep all the kids kind of at dinner, to like sitting down, eating their food, typically stuff moms will kind of say. And she's, literally stretching all around that room to try to keep everything in place. So moms, even though they don't have superpowers, this is something that they do all the time, especially with like large families, which, having 3 kids, I think is, on the larger side. So there's a lot that my mom had to do as well. But, there are moments in this film too, where she has doubts about herself, and can she do this? Can she go back? In the film, there's a moment where it's, again, they have to kind of be dragged out of retirement and become superheroes again. And she's sort of questioning, like, do I still have this in me? Can I still be the Elastigirl that I was? And needs a little bit of a pep talk from one of the other characters. I think this is something too that, moms have moments of doubt sometimes. It's a lot that they have responsibility for. And I thought this did a really good job, that scene of just encapsulating what Helen, who's Elastigirl, what she was kind of going through of these doubts. And I'm sure, I'm not a mom, obviously, but I'm sure that they they have these moments of doubts, but then they still pull it off in the end. They're still able to be that superhero. So, I think this movie, to me, first of all, it's a great film too. It's just a fantastic, one of Pixar's best films, I think. Great take on both the superhero genre, but also 60s Bond films, influenced by both of those. But the reason why I put this on the list is I do remember, like, seeing this for the first time, being like, oh yeah, like, it's like that is how I always viewed my mom growing up, and still do today, in terms of what she's able to do for everyone, even in retirement. So I just had to put this movie on the list. It's fantastic.
I love it. Yeah, I'm so glad you put this. And I actually had not seen this movie before, maybe in bits and pieces, but I saw it for today's episode. And I was just blown away by how incredible this movie is in all departments, really. It's just so clever, holds up. I think the thing that I was left with is, I wanted more of the mom character in the movie, because she steals the show completely. And it's such a brilliant voice performance by Holly Hunter.
Oh, incredible.
I think she's just amazing. I wish we saw more of her.
Yeah.
She just, whatever she's done, she's been good at.
Her first voice role, I might add. She had not done voiceover work. And just, I think she's one of the best voiceover performances in a film I've seen, for sure.
I couldn't agree more.
Yeah.
So
no pun intended.
Maybe that's just another movie that you want to see more of a character. It's not that she's not there, but you know, for the first half of the movie, the dad is sort of the main protagonist and sort of moving the plot forward and such, which maybe is emblematic of the time in which the story is set as well, in terms of family dynamics and the roles people play and such. But this is really her movie. And that was really, really cool to watch. Everything you said really resonated with me as well. And I don't know, it was also fun to see, to me, like you were saying, like the doubts and the challenges that the mom character has, like that to me is sort of the core of the movie. You know, if you remove that, it's still a very good movie, but it wouldn't hit the way this movie does, where she's questioning her relationship with her husband, questioning, you know, going back to work, questioning, looking at the kids who she loves, but is also frustrated and irritated by them. It's a very real portrayal of an actual human being, you know, trying to kind of juggle all of that, which is what moms do on a daily basis, like you said. So yeah, really, really good pick. And I'm glad I watched it.
Yeah, totally. And the sequel, actually, which is not as good. Incredibles is much better than Incredibles 2, but Incredibles 2, I feel that they give, I don't know if you've seen that film yet.
No, I want to now.
They give the mom more, like she's more of the center character actually in the entire film. I think they realized they had something special in that character with the first movie. So when they decided to go back and do the sequel, I feel like it was almost 10 years later, something like that, 8 years later, they made the sequel. The mom's character, Elastigirl, is much more of the main focus of the film. And I almost put that one on here, but I think having the first Incredibles is a better encapsulation of that just across the whole family. So I'm glad you saw it and enjoyed it. Yeah, one of the better, maybe even the best in my view, or at least my favorite, maybe Pixar film. I think they did a great job with this. Hey there, it's Alex. If you like the review and discussion Karan and I just had, make sure you subscribe to our channel, Movies That Shaped Us, to get full episodes. Every other Wednesday, Karan and I cover a topic around important people, places, events, and moments in our lives, and then explore it through 3 of our favorite movies. Subscribe right now, or follow our podcast on Spotify or Apple Podcasts via the link in the description below. Hope you join us for the journey.